Oh, finally. Got so much done this week. All that's left for me to do is upload some of my Doki Doki Let's Play, and I'll have some time to watch some good old-fashioned anime. Yup, there is nothing to talk about just yet. No sir, ma'am. Just got done with that. Absolutely nothing to talk about. Did you just bloody cut me off like that? Well, I never. Ahem. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Looks like Father Blizzard is at it again with Datamined information for the Battle for Azeroth. Seems like they're not slowing down either, as I am sure by the time I post this video, they will throw even more information out there. Now, please note before I begin that these are just Datamined information from wowhead.com, and a lot of this will more than likely change over time. But that won't stop me from talking about it. Also, this will be a bit more different from my usual videos. It'll be more reacting to this information, and throwing my own assumptions with it. So the script will be more funsy, I suppose. Also, keep in mind we'll be talking about very spoilery topics, so if you don't want an ear spoon of spoilers, I suggest you leave. But if you want some of these oh-so-scrumptious spoilers, then
stick around!
Oh, thanks, Marigar.
Bone Storm!
What a charming fellow. Anyways, with all that being said, let's get right into this. Whoosh. Alright, so let's see what information we got ourselves here. Aha! New broadcast text revealing more details about the introductory quests. Zandalari quests seem to involve a possible new old god called Cahoon. Alright, yes, the big larva old god himself, Cahoon, who was supposedly experimented on by the makers, and was an old god in a Titan facility that we will soon be raiding in. Wait a gosh darn minute, you mean to say we have more than 4 old gods? Again? Well, we might as well throw in Hakar and Xalatath in there, making a total of 7 old gods then. Or is Hakar and Cahoon the same being? You know what, I'll just go ahead and let good old tinfoil hat wearing buddy Pyromancer figure that one out for you. He made a video on that, yeah? But it is interesting that we have a new old god worshipped by blood trolls, and their main goal is basically to free him by destroying the landmass around him. Should make for a very compelling tale for Battle for Azeroth. Let's see what else we can dig up in this treasure trove of knowledge, in this Datamined bag. Let's see what we got. Ah, a new scenario, called the Siege of Lordaeron / the Fall of Lordaeron. The Horde has a setup called Defend the Azerite War Machine, hinting at a reason for the attack on the Undercity. Odd. I figured the reason for why the Alliance attacked Undercity was because of the attack on Teldrassil. Unless that quite possibly the attack on Teldrassil is actually after the attack on Lordaeron. Or maybe they attack Undercity because of the Azerite and Teldrassil. Well, either way, I still think it's safe to say we should wait for the book to come out before we jump to conclusions. I know that we all got some websites saying that Teldrassil happens first, but hey, changes happen, and maybe Blizzard wants to make the Alliance, for once, be the aggressors. Alright, let's see what else we can find. Let's see. Oh, what is this? Another interesting sounding scenario on this list. Alright, let's see here. The Stormwind Extraction. Ooh, this looks intriguing already. Though also out of order, I think. Alright, let's see. Way behind the enemy lines, escape the Cathedral District, down the drain, open the sewer access, the Stormwind City Shuffle, escape Stormwind City undetected, well ship, slay Admiral Lockhart, in the dead of the night, infiltrate Stormwind City, the primary objective, release the prisoners and escape the stockades, honor and loyalty, release High Overlord Sarfang, okay, the Harbor Run, reach Talanji's ship in Stormwind Harbor, the Stockades, infiltrate the Stockades. Well, looks like the Horde will be popping right into Stormwind City to rescue some prisoners. I think this is what is going to happen. So, we fight the Alliance in the Battle for Lordaeron, right? And then end up escaping and probably retreating to Kalimdor. I imagine that Varrock Sarfang will get knocked out during this fight, and they'll imprison him rather than kill him. Because, you know, he's honorable and such, and, you know, killing the Horde doesn't exactly end wars, as is proven. Sylvanas knows full well that the Horde won't let Sarfang rot in his cell, so she sends you and a team to rescue him. Now, so long as he doesn't die, sorry, having some issues with Horde leaders dying right after they just stepped up still. We rescue Sarfang and immediately set off on our task with Varrock as basically our new Nazgrim, to a new land with our new team, intent on recruiting the Zandalari into the Horde. That's my assumption at least. Pretty cool that we're infiltrating Stormwind and rescuing our Horde buddies. I like it. Let's see what else we have here. Well, I think this answers what we were just looking at, and then some. It's another scenario, by the way, and this time it looks like it's for the Alliance. Alright. The Siege of Lordaeron. Boy, does that sound familiar. Man, Blizzard sure does like using siege for attacking Horde cities, am I right? Alright, we've got some more, probably out of order. Clearing the Way, Siege Towers Defended, Abomination Wonderland, Assault Lordaeron City, The Dark Lady, Pursue Sylvanas, She's Getting Away, Pursue Sylvanas in the Gyrocopter, The Great Eagle, Pressing Onward, Blast, Clearing the Way, Defeat the Azerite War Machine, The High Overlord, Defeat High Overlord Sarfang, The Third Fleet, Meet with Gen Greymane inside Brill, The Winds of Change, Find Jaina at the Walls of Lordaeron, ooh, Jaina, Breach the Wall, Keep Undercity's forces at bay with King Anduin until the Trebuchets breach the wall. I don't know that word, I'm sorry. What Lies Beyond, Blighted Grounds, Evacuate wounded soldiers before they are infected by the plague gas, The Light is Fading, Fall back with King Anduin Rin. Oh geez, this is a mouthful. Alright, so looking at all this information we have here, this is what I think is going to happen in this scenario. The Alliance is sieging Undercity, obviously. They're doing a fine job at it, and they spot Sylvanas and know if they capture or kill her, please no, then the war will be over. They probably will get really close at cornering her, but she managed to escape. You know, because she's Sylvanas. Personally, I think Varrock buys her time, and perhaps that's why she's so dedicated on getting him out of there. You know, development. It's what she needs. It also explains as to why Varrock is in the prison in the first place, and the Alliance fight and defeat Varrock and then imprison him, rather than kill, and then later on we free him along with the rest, but Sylvanas successfully gets away, of course. Complete side note, but it sounds like the Azerite War Machine may sound like a unit or a machine of some kind, built by Galliwix, which the Alliance seemingly fight. Perhaps it's a display of power on what the Horde could do with that much Azerite, but it seemingly fails as the Alliance defeats it, I think. It also sounds like Jaina is a part of this fight for Lordaeron, which actually does make some sense considering this was basically her home away from home, if you don't count Dalaran as that. Just as the Alliance is gaining more ground, Sylvanas deploys the Plague, which again makes sense since I kept asking myself why wasn't the Plague involved. I assumed it was Sarfang giving her the no face, and with him captured there was little reason to not anymore. So the Alliance is forced to retreat and Lordaeron is uninhabitable, but the outskirts of Undercity is theirs, like Brill and other places too, I imagine. That's what I think is what happens at least. And afterwards, I assume Anduin asks Jaina to help recruit the Kulturas people and to join the Alliance for whatever reason. Again, that's my estimate. Let's see what else we can find here. Gosh darn it, more information regarding the battle for Undercity and Kazan and Profit Zul. Let's start with the battle again. This time it sounds like it's for the Horde again. The Fall of Lordaeron. I think that happened in Warcraft 3. Much better than Siege though, I will admit. Alright, some more scenario titles, probably out of order again. The King Peace, defeat King Anduin Rin and his allies, Under Siege, find Saurfang, spies in our midst, secure the Mage District, to the Heart, follow Saurfang to the heart of the city, holding them back, intercept the alliance with Nathanos Blightcaller, the Dark Lady, rendezvous with Sylvanas in the Keep, evacuate the heart of the city, evacuate the remainder of Undercity, push them back, break their front line, our secret weapon, use Blight on the Alliance forces to drive them away, to battle, use the portal to meet with Sylvanas Windrunner, cry havoc, Sylvanas has called for the retreat, like wildfire, the Alliance have breached the wall, meet with Nathanos Blightcaller to intercept them at a crucial choke point, defend the Azerite war machine. Alright, woo! Okay, so not so different from the Alliance one, quite honestly. The Horde are defending the Undercity from the Alliance. Sounds like we fight with King Rin himself, King Anduin, not the dead one, and possibly win against him. Nathanos is in the fight with us, which assures me because we didn't see him in the cinematic, and a lot of people were thinking he was a traitor. Speaking of traitor, though, interestingly noted, though, there is the spies in our midst. And that could just be referring to the SI-7 agents stealthing about, but it's possible that somebody betrayed the Horde. To who, that's hard to say, honestly. Then at some point we unleash the plague onto our enemies. What I think now, though, is that what ends the battle is the explosion of Azerite, which the Alliance are attacking, which I still assume is a giant nuke bot, basically, and the Horde are defending it as well. It explodes, and we need to get the hell out of there before it does. Varrock gets captured at some point, the Horde retreats to Kalimdor, yada yada yada, stuff I said earlier, basically. Now to talk about Profit Zul and Kazan, which intrigues me, actually. These are a lot less, thankfully. Gosh, that is a lot to say in one paragraph, I'm going to admit. Ugh, goodness. Alright, so this one reads, Kazan dig site. Claim control of Kazan from the Venture Company. Now, I know that's not much, and it shouldn't wow me like it does, but it adds up that Kazan is basically controlled by the Venture Company right now. I wonder if we'll see the trade prince of the Venture Co. himself finally in this dungeon or scenario. Would be awesome to see Galliwix versus Magul Razdunk. I know he's not labeled as a trade prince according to the Wowpedia, but it would be awesome to see. Moving on, we've got some information regarding Profit Zul, which, come to think of it, hasn't really been a topic at all for Battle for Azeroth, despite Loa and Zandalari playing a big role in this expansion. City of Gold. Defeat Zul's minions before they can summon an ancient power. Finally, some gosh darn information on Profit Zul. Though I'm willing to bet he's going to be made into a dungeon boss, sadly, as much as I want him to be a raid boss. Looks like Zul is up to no good, and is summoning some kind of ancient power, which I assume is either Hakar or Gahun. I personally think that Profit Zul is like Jafar from Aladdin, where he advises the king into decisions based on all of his visions, which have proven true thus far. But once the Horde comes in, his plans are ruined, and he has to take a less subtle approach and more a direct one, with summoning his old god, Master Gahun. But that's my assumption, again. Let's see if we can find anything else that catches my eyes. Well, no more scenarios it looks like, but we do have some pretty interesting sounding broadcast texts that I'll read. I think this person is Talanji, as it says, Talanji brought the mongrel horde with her. This be treason, Highness. And I think this person is King Rastakhan, who says, Enough. I would speak with this hero who brought my daughter back to me. Sounds like we rescued Talanji and win over Rastakhan by doing this. Interesting, interesting. Alright, I have no idea who this is. I must inform Vorik of my concerns, but first I need to safeguard my key. I have a feeling something bad will happen very soon. Together, with Vorik and Korvik, we sealed the tomb, with the hopes that no one will ever wake the giants buried within. We will not be doomed to repeat the mistakes our neighbors made so long ago. Alright, so this guy sounds like a good guy then, which defeats my initial thoughts. So I think the key is the key to Cahoon's prison, probably. Yeah, probably. And we know that there's only one way of opening or freeing Cahoon, and I'm assuming that that was the key. So that's my initial thoughts. Alright, Gazlo, Gallowix, Gob Squad... Gazlo, Gallowix, Gob Squad, Goblin. Got it, Princess. You should be thankful to get a front row seat to the latest and greatest of Goblin technology. Alright, same Goblin guy again. Huh. Never blew up an old god before. Should've brought more explosives. Princess, I ain't no expert, but I think you guys got a blood troll problem. Rokan / Princess Talanji, I think. I don't know why I believed working with goblins would result in anything other than this. Alright, the goblin again. We're gonna blow your old god up. Goblin style. Alright, and this, I think, is Rokan. Rokan's been around for a long time, Princess. He ain't gonna die to some blood trolls. Of course, that could be someone talking about Rokan, but I think Rokan has talked in third person before. Okay then, so we've got that old god again, which maybe it could be referring to just an ancient god and not an old god, like Yagi or N'Zoth. We've got what I think is after the coup, which might have ended with Talanji escaping and Rastakhan dying. Please no. I didn't mention this before, but I think that Profit Zul is planning a coup with the Blood Trolls. That's just my assumption that I didn't get to say earlier, because I was reading the wrong thing. Seems like the goblin here, who I'm not sure who it is, though I think it's someone a part of the Gob Squad from Twilight Highlands / Ajara. Hopefully it's Gazlo, honestly. Can't really see Gallowix out there doing something out in the front lines like that, who plans to blow up Cahoon. Which is an interesting plan of itself. Don't think anyone has tried that before in the lore. One of my favorite parts is that Rokan and Talanji are interacting, which means, yes, Rokan has a role in Zandalar. I was right. Yes. Sorry, that just something I'm very proud of. I called, even though it was obvious that Rokan would have a role in Battle for Azeroth. Also, that might have confirmed that Rokan's age as old, which makes sense with his white hair and all. Gen / Warden. Sarfang, now is your time. You may claim your warrior's death that you so sorely deserve. Although that could be Sylvanas. I don't know about that one. I don't think it's Sylvanas. Sylvanas doesn't sound like the type that would threaten Sarfang, unless she's saying it jokingly. Alright, I think this is Talanji again. My father believes he's indulging me. He believes the word of his stoic advisors like Zul instead of listening to me. So, I'm guessing that's a click line, or maybe that's something she says to us directly. Probably before the coup happens. Again, I am really set on this coup happening between Profit Zul and Rastakhan. Placeholder scene. Hezro reveals Cahoon being an old god, being experimented upon, and reveals blood trolls want to destroy Zul'Dazar in order to free Cahoon. No way of fixing current containment, must protect Zul'Dazar. Atina, blood troll matriarch, arrives, badly damaged Hezril, and prepares to strike. We've got our pal Hezril, who I think is a good Zandalari, kinda hard to tell at this point, who reveals that Cahoon is an old god being experimented upon. Which again is interesting that they phrase it like that. I guess Gahun really is an old god who might have been weaker than Azoth and was cast away into a place to be tested on. And as Blizzard stated, that really didn't end well, and we've got some blood trolls worshipping him and using his blood quite possibly. We've seen what Serenite is capable of. It's probably why it and these blood trolls are such a menace in the first place, and we've got to prevent it from escaping, as any old god who escapes is doomed for just about everybody. Alright, and this I think is Rastakhan. My daughter tells me that you be the ones who rescued her, and Zul, from the dungeons of Stormwind. Now this either means that Zul was trying to imprison Talanji, and Talanji was like, hey, Zul was trying to imprison me, or Zul was also in the stockades, which is very curious of itself, which means, because I always thought that Zul, Prophet Zul, would be a bad guy. Although we could, it kind of like a Gul'dan situation where we free him because he's like, hey, I know all this type of stuff. But then again, I don't know. We also rescue Varrock in the same place, as stated before. Now, there's plenty of dialogue left that I could talk about, but I mostly wanted to talk about these ones that catch my eye. If people want me to do a follow-up video on this, which I probably will, then I shall. Otherwise, this is it for the video. I'm Skull Shorties, and I'll see you on my next video. Ciao for now.